How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Sixkilla and welcome back to Head as Code. We're heading, well, I'm not exactly sure where we're heading at this stage. We're with G. We just finished hanging out at the casino, and we're deciding on whether we're going to continue on to the reactor, I believe, or go back to the lounge to check everyone else. We've got a lot of options in this path. I think for the now we're going to go on, because I want to see what lies ahead, and I don't mistrust G. I feel like she's not likely to kill me. Let's carry on. I chose not to return to the lounge before we found anything. Let's keep going. I thought about it, and it would be better if we just continued. So you agree then? Yes. Fingers crossed. Piscine? The train was already setting off. I looked over at the twin, considering our arguments from earlier. Was this really fair? I looked down at my hands. This decision wasn't like me. It was as if some kind of mystical force was guiding me. I closed my hands and fists, then opened them again. You're talking about me. I still had control over my body, and yet... What's the matter? I don't know. Something strange. I don't know. I just feel strange. Can you explain it? It's like... You know when you're dreaming? You do whatever you want in the dream, but it's not really something you consciously do? And then sometimes you understand you're in a dream. It's like that. It's like I'm dreaming and I just now understood that I am. I can tell that you're not asleep anyway. If you are and you dreamed up this entire place, then you should just stop because it's no good. That's fair. The train ceased its movements at the pool. The doors opened, but I continued talking since we were far from our destination, which was the gym on the absolute opposite end. I would if I could, G. It's not like that. That's not what I meant. It's more like your every action up till now has been determined by your subconscious. Only after you realize you're in a dream do you have some kind of control. You did something you didn't want to. The chime rang out as the train doors closed and it set off again. Other than delivering pizzas? I mean, yeah. Just now, in fact. I suggested we keep going, but I don't know why. It doesn't line up with what I'd normally do. You know, if you just wanted to change your mind, you could just tell me. And not need to go through a life story to get there. No, that's not it at all. Inside my head, I get the reasoning. It just doesn't feel like me. I slumped down into a seat. G wasn't sure what I was getting at with this, so I abandoned the chase. And yet, what about her? It was also unlike her to continue without her sister. Less a toyless. I decided to close my eyes and race until we arrived at the gym. As we stopped at the leisure station, something caught my attention. Hey, isn't that hay? The old man was barreling down the stairs and lunging into the train before it left. Clearly exhausted from the sprint, he panted, slowly rising to his feet. Oh, I hadn't thought you'd be here. What a surprise. Where'd you run away from? You'd be murdering again. He paused to let the chime ring out first. As the train set off, he took a seat to ensure his security instead of falling off balance. Nothing in particular. I just didn't want to miss the train. There was something wrong with him. I could tell G shared my suspicions. First of all, he was here alone, and his hand was tightly gripping his bag, as if it contained something very important. Did he find the ninth person? Oh, that? No, not at all. Are you sure? Of course. In fact, I was going to the next station. I've not found the ninth person, but perhaps something else that may help us. The next station was the security one. I found it somewhat odd that he wanted to go there. Where's E? She's at the lounge, having a nice cup of juice on the couch. If you had business with her, I presume we'll have to wait then. Well, I didn't have business with her specifically, but we haven't seen each other for a while. Ah, yes, that is true. I wondered about that myself. Oh, my stop is here. Let us meet again soon. With a bow, the man left the train once the doors opened. I looked at G with a quirked eyebrow. She seemed as lost as I was. That was something. Anyway, let's continue to the gymnasium place. Yeah. Nothing else of note was really said until we arrived at the station. We arrived at the gym. However, it was closed. Again? How many stations have been explored now? Did we miss all of the remaining ones? I hope not. The train departed from the station once more, heading even further inside. I closed my hands and fists, feeling my annoyance grow. How many stations were left? Maybe we should have just gone to the reactor? Yeah, if I'd known this would happen. Nothing we could predict. The whole time I clenched my teeth. Was this Marco's doing? Did he betray me and explore every station without my knowing? Why would you automatically assume it was your friend? I would know soon, no doubt. We arrived at the church in silence. Once again, the door to the station was closed. Oh, this is ridiculous now. Is there only the theatre left? I hit my hand on the window, giving it a worrying crack. I pulled it away almost instantly, thinking it wouldn't be good if I broke it. The wind from the train's movement would be terrible. I don't know, I feel strange, like I shouldn't go here. Huh? Something bad will happen there. Well, maybe it already has happened. Are you precognitive now? I don't think so. That's all just a load of bull anyway, but... Do you mind if you go check around first? I guess so. The train's chime rang out and the doors closed anew. I nodded at G. Okay. When we get there, let's step off and I'll look around. I couldn't help but think it's strange how she wanted to be protected all of a sudden. When she told me before, she liked the fact that I didn't necessarily believe she needed protection. I quieted my thoughts. Perhaps the girl was simply scared. I kinda was too. The fewer stations remained, the fewer opportunities to find the ninth person existed as well. I would have lost all my chances to escape soon. The train stopped and the doors opened. Okay, I'll head upstairs. You wait for here for a bit. Okay. Be back quickly. I looked through the open door of the lobby. Upon stepping in, I realized the doors didn't close behind me. That was strange. Despite that, the train left the station. That's because she hasn't come through. I walked upstairs. I expected a theatre, and that's exactly what I got. I took a look around. It's really fancy. Holy crap. It wasn't a very detailed exploration, but one nonetheless. I confirmed something terrible. A chill ran up my spine when I realized what the dead ends in the hallway outside the room meant. There was no way to go to the other side of the station. This means once you got off the train for this one, you couldn't go back. Either you left through the exit, or you stayed trapped inside. Those were incredibly bad news. This doesn't make any sense. I wandered back down the stairs to share the news with the twin. Once I was out, I called for G. Hey, where are you? There was no answer. She wasn't around. Did she leave while I was up the stairs? How could you leave, though? Out of the corner of my eyes, I spied one of those dark tunnels of the locked grid. Maybe she'd escaped through one of those. I wandered into the darkness. I couldn't see anything. Hey G, are you here? The ground here was softer for some reason. There was a step I had to climb, but just one. Blindly touching around the gate, I finally found that there was some kind of lock. Even if I messed with it, I couldn't open it. I decided G had not come this way then. Huh, she must not have come here. What is a step anyway? I stepped backwards and touched it. It was soft and it had cloth on it. This wasn't a step. It was someone. Gee, is that you? I'm so sorry, I didn't think... I grabbed her arm. She was not breathing. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. No. H is gonna fucking kill me. I dragged her body back outside the dark hallway. It was covered with blood. The same as my shoes. The girl had been stabbed. What? But there was no train. Who? I wouldn't find the answers to this question. Not now or ever. My body ceased moving when the pain of being stabbed spread throughout my entire nervous system. I fell forward, latching onto the gate at the back of the hallway. I wanted to turn around. I wanted to see who killed me. For a moment I thought whatever killed me might not be someone, but the knife was pulled out. A second stab hit me and I passed away into darkness. Stabbed bad end, ending L. L for lovely. Lovely stabbing. Alright, anyway. I guess we'll jump back in and this time we'll choose not to skip ahead with G. And then after that we'll have to jump back and pick a different partner to go with. I guess we'll go with H next time, but for now, is it this one? No, must be this one. Because there's the path off there. And here's the different people you could go with, right? So this is G. One of these will be H and one of them will be Jasmine. I'll jump in here and I'll bring you back once we get to the choice. Alright. Simon believed it best to go to the lounge. Maybe we should go back and share the info with the others first. Remember, it's also possible other people came back. A and E left before we did, and Jasmine and H might still be there, talking to the two of them. If they came back before your sister and my friend left, you could talk to your sister a while. G saw the logic behind my idea and she nodded, determined. I too wanted to see the other places, but even if we went to a new station, nothing stopped us from checking up on the lounge first. We both settled in silence, having little to say that we hadn't said. The ride was fairly long since we had to go through 5 total stations. On the way, I checked to see if the pool was open. G probably didn't notice, but I did. The doors were unlocked. I thought Em and Ray might have come back to the lounge after this. I couldn't be certain since I couldn't check the reactor with this train. I'd have needed to be on the other side. As we arrived at the lounge, I stood up and talked to G while leaving the train. Did you notice? Em and Ray left their station earlier. They might be here now. I walked out of the train only to be knocked to the side by someone who'd been in a hurry to get in. It's gotta be A. They were alone. Oh, hey. Watch where you're going. Wait, who is this? The chime rang out as I turned around. I looked through the windows, but I didn't notice who it was. The doors closed and the train drove off. The person went and hid themselves immediately after pushing me aside. What a strange event. Anyway, let's go up and see the others. But G wasn't there. Huh? Don't tell me you stayed in the train. Damn it! That person grabbed her. Some noise from the staircase grabbed my attention. I cautiously approached. Hello? Is someone there? What's happening here? Suddenly a sharp lunge from the staircase coming right at me. I shielded myself with my arms, trying to fend them off, but all they did was hug me? I looked at them. It was E. Who was this? I couldn't answer her, yet for some unknown reason, warmth spread throughout me when she fell onto me. Considering her state, the blind and deaf girl tripped on the way down. We'd both fallen to the ground. Rising up from the cold, hard floor, I helped E back up, so her soft, warm body wouldn't have to lay in such a grotesque position anymore. I don't know who this is, sorry. But please, you have to stop him. He's gonna destroy everything. Oh, who will do that? Smiley? But I couldn't communicate with her. All my questions received no answer. One thing I knew though, she could be trusted. I knew I would have helped her no matter what she would have asked of me. Stopping this aggressor was also in my favor. She thrashed lightly, but I helped her stand back up and sit on the stairs. I'll be okay. He's gonna kill us all of us. Don't ask, don't mind me, just go. Take the train and go. Stop him from using that bomb. I couldn't understand exactly what was happening under her frantic demand. I didn't really have a choice. Judging by what she said, something big was happening. Maybe I was the only one who could stop it. I braced my hands on the back of my head. My knees turned to jelly and my legs shook slightly. This responsibility was very suffocating. Could I really do it? I wasn't really anyone who could do that kind of thing. I wasn't really a hero. This is too much. How will I even find them? Maybe if G was here, or H, or Jasmine. I looked up into the staircase. I could just head up and fetch them, Ray or Marco. However, I had to get a move on if the situation was this problematic. Hey, anyone in there? H, J, M, the whole alphabet? No answer. The bomb went off. As I pondered on the best course of action to take, a sudden tremor hit the station. I fell down onto my knees and rolled around on the ground. Noticing E was holding onto the stairs to stop herself falling over. What was that fucking explosion? It felt really damn close. He's doing it. He's gonna destroy it all. No, not with us inside. We're all done for. Witnessing that panicked state, I had no choice. I wasn't gonna wait for the others. I needed to deal with this problem now. Okay. I think I broke my ankle. Slowly, I rose up to 1 foot. I sauntered back to the station side. What was that blast anyway? God damn. Where did they find it? I didn't think Smiley would be giving us explosives. Somehow that doesn't add up. Maybe they made it, but who? E said him, so it was a guy. It's gotta be A. Marco, Ray, or A. I guess the likeliest one would be A. I don't think Marco could make bombs, and Ray... No, wait, Ray might be able to. But why? I waited in the silence of a lack of answers. It took a while, but I caught up to the intruder I saw earlier. I followed the stations until I reached the first one that the train wouldn't move from. That station was the theatre. I stepped off the train and drove it off into the tunnel. Immediately I noticed that there was someone. It wasn't Ray, or A, or even Marco. It wasn't Jasmine or E. The only person it could have been was the twin. However, they were adorned with the most peculiar article of clothing. It was reminiscent of... Smiley? Casting my glance down to the lobby, which was open, I saw another body. The other twin was there. Dead. Immediately my stomach sank. From the doorway I could spy some rubble too. She'd been caught in an explosion. Was it you who... A sudden surge of pain hit me as I was shoved off the station. I fell over the yellow line. I twisted myself in midair trying to avoid landing onto the tracks, which would end me without a doubt. I ended up landing onto my legs, which would normally have been a good thing. However, I had a worrying crack noise come from down below. To speak nothing of the pain. Something was broken and I couldn't stand up. Oh, my ankle! What are you doing? G has failed. G? Is that the twin who died? The other one didn't reply to my question. Is this H? Did you kill your sister? Was it you who blew up the station above? Wait, are you Smiley? I mean, it says Smiley on her face. Why would you do that? I had too many questions. The figure had no answers for me. There was clear hostile intent coming from her. She watched me completely motionless. It was as if she was a life-size figure. The destruction of property to this extent isn't allowed. Termination engaged. Wait. Do you think I shook my head. I had to plead my case, not question their judgment. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm here to stop the person who's going to blow it up, I swear. While talking, I began crawling over to try and raise myself over the side of the station again, very carefully avoiding the electrified tracks. However, whenever I moved, the twins stepped to block my way. Let me up. Let me up, H. What are you doing? Are you really H? Who are you? What do you want? I just want to get up. She's not wearing the same clothes as G or H though either. Like, she's the same sort of size and build, but the clothes aren't right. It doesn't seem right. Listen, it'll only take a second, and I can fall and electrocute myself. Let me up. I screamed that last part and averted my eyes once I understood she wouldn't move. Once again, there was no answer from the twin. I had to find another way. Maybe the tunnel? Suddenly my hair stood up. A chill ran through my spine as I heard the telltale noise of the train arriving. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I tried to rise back up, but I fell down with a surge of pain from both my legs. I couldn't get out of here. All I could do was lift my hand to try and tap into any latent psychic powers to stop it. Maybe this will work if I believe hard enough. It didn't take very long. The train arrived and... Alas, what followed was a pure jolt of pain as my body was completely and utterly crushed by the incoming train. Pieces of me spread all over the place. The sheer force dismembered me and the collar broke under the strength of the train. I became one, yet many. One person, yet many pieces all scattered around the station. I became darkness. Is that a good end or a bad end? Train bad end. I was gonna say, but we got some information out of that one. That's the first time we've seen Smiley out in the open. If it was Smiley. Which it presumably is. And it did look like the size and gender of one of the twins, and it had blonde hair. But the clothes were wrong, it all doesn't add up, you know what I mean? It all does not add up. I guess that means we need to come back here and we'll pick a different partner to go with for this one. We've got a bit of time still. So let's jump back in and I'll bring you back at the next choice. Okie dokie, it's time to pick a new companion. This time we're going to pick H, obviously. Especially if she turns out to be Smiley. Which I'm not too convinced on, but, you know, it'd be good to keep an eye on her if she does turn out to be Smiley. But then again, G could have been Smiley and H could be the dead one. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I choose you, H. Go, use Thundershock. I don't know why, because you're like an ultimate brat, but that's my choice. Hey, I'm not a brat. I'm older than that. Then start showing it. She clenched her teeth at my words, about to snarl and give a scathing remark, when Jasmine clapped twice into her hands as if calling us back to attention. Okay. Wasting time bickering about the teams will cost us a lot of time we may not have. Are you in agreement or not? I guess I'm fine with it if G's fine with it too. She glanced over to her sister as if pressuring her. Yes, it's okay by me too. Great. Let's go. She reached out and grabbed me by the arm, pulling me down to the lobby below. Hey, watch how hard you're pulling. Couldn't believe how easily she pulled me along. The whole time all I could do was follow like an obedient little puppy. The entire time, Jasmine's giggling assaulted my ears like a battering ram. Wait. I stopped in the lobby to talk to Jasmine. You two should stay here to meet with the others when they come back. Yeah, I thought about it too, but I changed my mind. I have a feeling we're not the only ones leaving others behind, so to say. Some of them have been gone for a while. If they want to escape this place, that's fine, of course. I just don't want to end up waiting for people who might never come back. What did she insinuate by that? Holding up her hands defensively, she shook her head, having noticed my expression. I don't mean it that way, but if they choose to take the train and explore station after station, I think we should do the same. Fair enough. We proceeded to the station. It took a while and the train arrived for us to board it. The entire way, not much was exchanged. I tried thinking of topics to tackle, but I couldn't figure out anything new. Eventually we stopped at the pool. That's weird. Look, it's already closed, as if someone came by already. She pointed at the window. Indeed, the door was closed and locked. See? I told you. Other people aren't returning either, and they're just exploring as they want. I don't see why we shouldn't do the same at this point. Right. What a bunch of piss ants. Language. Language. How's piss ant a rude word? Because it's got the word piss in it? The announcer drowned out whatever remark she threw my way and the train took off again. If Em and Ray are behind that door, do you think they decided that together or is it just Ray's doing? It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Which one? Ray's doing. I don't really trust him much. Me neither. He's kind of scary. I can agree with that. But I wonder, and maybe this is this place making me more paranoid than I should be, but maybe the two of them teamed up. Was that really the case? Why is our guy so quick to jump the gun on his own friend and call him a traitor? Doesn't sound like a very good friend. Was it possible Marco, my friend, would have abandoned me? It's always the first conclusion you seem to come to. He wasn't a bad guy, yet it was undeniable that they kept going. Marco could have decided to come back on his own. He didn't though. That was what bothered me. Maybe he's just keeping an eye on Ray. Hey, Earth to S, come in. I'll leave at the recreation station with G. Is that fine by you? I was snapped out of my thoughts by Jasmine clapping her hands again. Right, that's okay. Great. I'll leave you at the reactor. You're savvier than me with that kind of thing anyway. Whoa, now wait. I hope we don't have to... But H started shivering uncontrollably. She hugged herself, looking positively scared for reasons beyond my understanding. Are you okay? Get away from me. She pushed me away just as the train arrived at the recreation station. That's not good. I didn't have the time to reassure her. S, just promise she'll be fine. Just don't say the H word, okay? Huh? She'll calm down a little bit, but you have to promise me not to say the H word, or else I'm taking her out right now and we'll leave here. Just promise her. She looked at me expectantly. I didn't really have a choice. Okay, I promise. I won't say the H. What is the H word? Good. Have fun in the reactor. The two of them left momentarily. The train produced its chime sound once they entered the door, and it closed behind them, locking them in. Great, I was stuck going into a potentially dangerous room with an unstable little girl. Listen, I'm sorry, okay? There's no H. No, there is. The doors to the train closed and it drove off. H's state reminded me of someone who was afflicted by epilepsy, except she was still conscious of what she was saying and doing. Unfortunately, I couldn't deal with it. I chose to accompany her in silence, worriedly staring over at her when I could, when suddenly a headache hit me like a brick. No, what is this pain? You're having it too. It was like my head was being squeezed. Glancing at H, she was tensing up, holding her head with both hands. I mimicked her since I really couldn't handle it. I took a few deep breaths and exhaled sharply. Eventually it ceased. I cast a glance over at H following that. She was doing better now. Perhaps that strange moment was all she needed to gain a foothold on reality once more. Feeling better now? A little. Just a little. Aren't you embarrassed about caring for a brat like me? Hey, I see that in a joke, you know. Then that's just bullying. But it's okay, I understand. I had to make it up to her. As the train stopped at the final station, down this side, I made up my mind. The doors opened and she stepped outside. I did the same, but before she reached the open door, I called for her. Hey H, before we go in, I want to tell you one thing. What is it? She looked at me cautiously. Thanks for agreeing to split up from your sister. I'm sure that must have been difficult for you since you two are so close. In a way, I'm jealous of that closeness since I'm an only child. Your sister's in good hands. Jasmine will be certain to protect her and nothing bad will happen to her. You have my guarantee. And if something bad does happen to her, you have my permission to kick my butt. I can tell by her expression that H didn't really know what to say to that, instead give me a bit of a smile. Thanks. It does mean a lot. Especially the last part. If something happens to her, I'll throw you into the reactor myself. Of course. I wouldn't have it any other way. We resumed our walk towards the door. Entering the lobby, I didn't notice anything special. It looked like any others so far. The door closed as we came in, which I expected to happen. So, we're here. Are you ready for the reactor? I've been looking forward to the reactor since we started. I guess I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Finally, we stepped up the staircase and entered the reactor proper. It was a fairly spacious room. A light, ever-present buzzing, continuously assaulted our ears. I wondered if I would develop tinnitus from this. The noise was coming from the reactor in the middle of the room. It looked rather big. In the front was an open entrance, tall enough for even Ray to go through. On the walls was machinery of all kinds. I didn't expect anything else. On the other side of the room there were some computers and a large screen, currently turned off. Ready to explore? This room kind of gives me the creeps. At least it's kind of green. I like green. Yeah, me too. To all those. After giving my cursory glance around the room, I decided to look at everything a little more closely. But that's weird because G said she hates green. But H likes green. First thing I noticed was was a map on the wall. It showed everything in this place. I stood before it somewhat dumbfounded. There's a good reason for that. As I looked at it, I realized there were two weird things about what it showed me. The first, there was an empty wall, and behind were 8 circles. The number 8 again. Was it significant in some way? Why was everything 8 here? The only thing that came to mind was how 8 looked like an infinity symbol turned on its side. They called the symbol lemniscate, a lemniscate. I remembered Marco talking about that shape once. Obviously I hadn't paid attention to what he said too much, but the name stuck to me. Why does he never pay attention to Marco? No wonder he thinks Marco's going to betray him. It's because you never listen. The second thing that was weird was how this room had only one entrance. Normally each station had 2 doors, one for each side. This one, however, had a single way down along the scanner room. What was the meaning of this? I tried to imagine why that was the case. Was it because it was the end of the line? Was it meant to only have one door? But the station below had 2 doors, like every station. I pulled away from the map. Anything the matter? I didn't answer her. Instead, I barreled down the stairs to look through the window in the door. That's right. On the other side was another door, and it was closed, just like I thought. Where did that door lead if not upstairs? Hey, answer me. I just noticed something weird, that's all. Look. Oh, you're too short. She crossed her arms already on a warpath. Okay, I'll just tell you. The other side of the station has a door, but the map in this room above only showed one exit from here. Well, other than the scanner room. Huh? That doesn't work. How are we meant to go back? Maybe, and this is just a hypothesis, maybe we're not meant to go back once we make it here. Is this the exit? Some noise from upstairs caught my attention. It was some kind of static screeching. What the heck is that? What's really going on at the station? Let's go find out. Together we went back up the stairs quickly. Once we arrived upstairs once more, we noticed the screen had lit up. On it was Smiley. I see you've arrived at this room. Unfortunately, I must inform you that this room is a dead end in a matter of speaking. It will not be one for everyone, however. Before I explain that part, I'll tell you a story. It is directly correlating to some of your presences here. There was a girl who had done terrible things a long time ago. She, as a result, was taken by an organization for their human experiments. What she did was terrible, but what those people did was even worse. Maybe they're manufacturing... Okay, just a theory time. Maybe they're manufacturing the twins. Instead of the twins being twins, maybe they're just manufactured. Maybe they just produce, using the same DNA, produce clones of that person. Or something like that. I don't know. Because that Smiley person did look the same, but also not the same. Maybe they could just manufacture them as, like, slaves to do whatever they tell them to do? I don't know. What those people did was even worse. My head, it hurts. Stop talking. Stop talking. It's... I remember... No. The twins screamed, and I missed what Smiley said next. It wasn't just a normal scream, she was going absolutely mental. I could also feel a headache, but it was unclear if it was due to her noise, or due to other reasons. I recalled it was the same kind of headache as the one I got earlier in the train. H eventually fell to the ground. I reached to help her back up. She shook her head dismissively, instead gratifying me with another loud groan of pain. No, it's fine. I'm okay, it's just my head. My head hurts so much. Ugh. Another scream came from her. I panicked a little, unsure if I should have done something. Finally she calmed down while Smiley continued, as the recording had been uncaring about what was happening in the room. I turned my attention back to it, since she seemed better now. And we need the information. The situation is a direct result of that, and now, this is the reason why this room is a dead end. The reactor had been set to overheat within 10 minutes. Make no mistakes, this reactor could completely destroy every station here. It's an extremely powerful power generator that on its own could give energy to the entire city. While it's not nuclear energy, it is something somewhat close. Anyone can stop it by pushing a button to close the reactor. It is sad to point out, but the button is inside a contraption, and pressing it will close the door behind that person. This means that whoever pushes the button will be trapped within, while it stabilizes, resulting in their end. The only question you both should be thinking about for the next 10 minutes is, who will make the sacrifice? The screen turned off right after that. A small light on the reactor turned on, flashing red. Everything was going to explode in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? That's so short. We can't make the decision in 10 minutes. We can't make it in an hour, or 10 hours, or even a lifetime. What are you playing at, Smiley? What is the purpose of this? I shook the screen, but no answer came. Instead, H rose up and spoke. She was a lot more stable now, but there was an undeniable coldness in her tone. I will go. No, you can't do it. You're still a young girl. What was I saying? Was I really going to throw myself in a fire for a stranger? Sure, she was young, she had more time, but I just finished university, damn it. I had friends, I had a family. They all wanted to see me again. I could be hailed as a hero for it, but what would that matter if I was fucking dead? No, this is my burden. This is why I was created. See, I've got a feeling about these girls. See, that's why I said, maybe they were created by them. Though I don't understand what for yet. Created? What are you talking about? Either her family was full of loons or something else was going on here. She was calm, perhaps even eerily calm. Who the hell was this girl? I was a girl who did terrible things. That is me. Or rather, that was Hannah. I have her memories. While we were in that train on the way here, I remembered my own. Or maybe it's better said as I was transmitted my own. Say, what do you think of androids? Where is that coming from? What are you talking about again? Androids, what? I'm not a real person. I could never be a person. Okay, so they're not clones, they're robots, or androids. I'm an android. So I was close. I'm a created entity. I'm not real. I was built here, and without these memories, I'm Hannah. An android is unable to act on its own. It needs programming. It's a fabrication, a fake person. Or someone who doesn't belong, in other words. As an android, I don't have the same kind of physical limits as you, but I have others. Namely, I have to obey the laws of robotics. Do you know them? Yes, but that means that the one that killed us can't be an android, if they are all obeying the laws of robotics, because they can't have killed us. She grabbed a nearby tool and bent it rather effortlessly. She was so strong it made me arch my eyebrows in shock. I couldn't deny her nature, but something still didn't sit well with me. Like, what the fuck? It doesn't matter. The important part is that if it talks like a person, and it looks like someone, and if it thinks like Hannah, surely that must be Hannah. And so I am Hannah, but I am not her. G never knew. G's real sister was taken away. She took a small pause, as if hesitating. She's somewhere. Anyways, this is why I must go and do this. I have to sacrifice myself. I'll save all of you. The laws of robotics forbid me from standing by while a human will come to harm. Unfortunately, if I didn't know it was a fabrication, I could have abstained, but now that I do know, there's no turning back. I can't unknow it. There is no place for me here, so I'll make it my own. This way I had purpose. She smiled, but I could tell it was strained. I could tell she was masking her own insecurities over it. That's not true. There must be some other way. We have some time, let's search the room quickly. We can both survive. I was convinced. I needed to search this room, but almost half of our time was up already. You've been G's sister for a long time, right? She cares for you. What if what if she doesn't find her real sister again? You're still her. And you're scared right now, so let's find another way. I'm not scared. I don't think. I don't feel. It's all a fake process. Feelings are just calculations and reactions made in here. She pointed at her head. But that's how it is for a person too, right? Brains are exactly the same thing. Everyone just keeps echoing everything I say. If you feel like you care, then you do. Brains are like organic machines doing the same exact thing. It's all just electric currents. You're not wrong. According to what I know, you may be right. It is a contradiction to my programming. This is difficult then, but perhaps it would be better this way. Let's search. Let's do it quickly. Maybe there's a way. Maybe there is. I didn't know if it was wise for me to give her hope, but we had 4 minutes to search. That meant I could only search 4 things in this room at most. If I didn't figure something else out, then the choice would be made for me. How many options do we have to search then? We only picked 4? Well, this could go badly. Oh, there's lots. Oh, there's lots. We can only pick 4 and there's lots. Alright, what's this one? This door had a big number 9 on it. Was this supposed to represent the 9th person or something? Would my escape be assured if Hannah sacrificed herself? I slapped my cheeks a little with my palms. No, I had to stop thinking this way. There must have been another way without sacrificing anyone. 1 minute down. If I didn't hurry it up, I'd lose all the time I had left, and Hannah would probably incapacitate me. What? I had to be quick. She'd probably incapacitate me? I thought she was going to kill herself. We should just break all this stuff. Wait, let me have a look. What were all these things? Cables, boxes, I could see some pipes. If we broke anything in there, maybe the reactor would stop. However, there was an equal chance we'd make it explode right away. Perhaps it's better to leave it and come back if we find some sort of telltale sign that breaking this would be beneficial. Not for now, but if we find a reason to do so, maybe. Our time's going down, and you want to waste some of it? If we waste some time but end up not vaporizing ourselves in the process, I think that's a lofty goal. Well, fine. We parted from the contraptions. Now 2 minutes had passed. Time was quickly running out. Half the time had gone, so I needed to figure something out. Oh, we're in trouble. We're in so much trouble. What is this one? This wall had something behind it. Yeah, the 8 things. Maybe if I tried really hard I could open them. She could. She's an android. I spent a bit of time looking around to see if there's any mechanism, but there was none that I could find. Which meant this was do or die. If it would be done by hand, then so be it. 3 minutes. It was almost over. We're almost out of time. Don't make any mistakes, Ess, or else. She glanced toward the reactor. Yes, I knew she would jump into it when the time ran out to avoid any issue. That was why I needed to do this quickly. Go. I tried time and time again to open this wall, but it wouldn't budge. Even using the tools scattered around this place, I couldn't make it move. Something was behind it, though. I knew that. 8 things, whatever they were inside. This could be opening. This could be opened. It was as clear as day. The wall had this strange teeth-like shape. This is way too solid. I can't do this alone. Hannah? Hannah came by momentarily. We had to hurry. Let's open this thing. There's stuff behind it and we need to access it. Okay. I'll do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We combined our efforts to lift the teeth up and open the wall. All in vain. The wall refused to move. All we ended up doing was exerting ourselves too much. This is just a waste of time. Fuck. This is so stupid. Language. Girls shouldn't... I can swear if I want. Get back to the search quickly. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to find a way out of this predicament. No matter what I looked at, no matter what I tried, it was all in vain. Hannah was glaring at me as time was running out. There was a bit of resentment in her. Was it all a lie? This hope you gave me? This... hope. No hope. The word, it's tearing my head apart. I forgot I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't think it. I held her head in her hands. She held her head in her hands. Apparently that was causing her to have a headache too. This is my chance, but I didn't want to leave her like this. I hesitated. In that slight moment of hesitation, she forced herself to move forward, which in turn forced me to make up my mind. Sorry, Hannah. I can't let your wish come true. You're gonna fucking live. It was like the choice had been made for me. I took advantage of the situation and jumped into the reactor. Quickly, she regained her footing, but it was too late. My hand slammed onto the button which closed the door. No! You can't do this to me! To Hannah! To Greta, her sister! So that was her name, huh? The parents must have had a wicked sense of humour to base their names off that popular duo of characters from children's tales. However, I had nothing to say. I knew I tricked her somehow, and seeing her lamentable state due to that headache, perhaps born out of a traumatism I had no idea of, It did make me feel bad. Despite that, I stood by my choice. Of course, all the thoughts in the world came upon me at that moment. I thought about Marco. I thought about Jasmine. I thought about my family too, and all the others I wouldn't see again. Don't do this to me. Don't leave me here alone. I'm not Hannah. I'm a robot. I'm a fake. I'm not real. I'm not... Finally, after clearing my throat and clearing my head, I could speak to tell you just how exactly things were. No. You're Hannah. As far as Greta's concerned, you're Hannah. As far as I'm concerned, you're Hannah. No one else can take that away from you. I'm gonna die, and it's scary, of course. I can feel the heat building up behind me. So don't look. Don't look. I didn't exist. I wasn't here. There was no Simon. I'll tell you my name too. Felt like it was the only appropriate given the circumstances. There was no Simon anywhere. No Simon ever existed. So don't feel bad. You're gonna be Hannah, and you'll live. You'll live for Greta. Hannah refused to listen. She hammered her body into the door until it began growing hotter. I was melting. I clenched my teeth to ignore the pain. I clenched my teeth to ignore the incoming death. It was difficult to face your own death with something no one truly was ready to do. And yet, this is my future now. Or rather, my lack of future. All this work, all this life to amount to this. But at least it was for someone else's greater good. A second thought prevented me from feeling good over it though. Maybe it was the selfish part of me. Maybe it was the cowardly part of me. Even if I die, I'll get you back out of there. Hannah? I screamed so loudly she was surprised and stood back dumbfounded. You're not giving your life away, do you hear me? Avert your eyes. I didn't exist, so go live. She did as I told, fighting against her programming. She averted her eyes. She wouldn't see me as I became nothing. This is it. The pain was unbearable. Sorry, Marco. Sorry, Jasmine. I was giving my farewells to people who would never hear them. The last moments were nothing but a melting pot of weird nothing. Colours, sounds, sights. All of them were mixing in a head that wasn't quite there anymore. And yet, even as I faded, I maintained one thing. I maintained my smile. Now that it had come to this, now that I truly had passed to the point of no return in the end, I felt good deep inside. I didn't have any remorse, any fear, and any cowardly thoughts. Complete darkness waited for me and I embraced it. Soon none of it would be my burden anymore. With that smile, I vanished in a torrent of heat and despair. Ending E. Oh, that was still a bad end. Oh, but it hit the blue one there, so that's good. So it was a meaningful end nonetheless, and it did give us some information. We're going to wrap this one up, but obviously, because we let it run on a little bit long, but I wanted to see the end of that. I could not cliffhanger you there on that one. But I feel like we need to go back to that puzzle room, and we need to click on different things to try and get the right ending. I think we can get through that without having to sacrifice someone. I just don't know how just yet, but we'll figure it out. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.